Port work on the big bore 372, where in most of my cases, lack thereof, we don't really ever do a lot. Did get a nice polish on that exhaust port. Uppers turned out pretty good. I actually done the card stock method where I measure and cut a piece of card stock and put in. It's a really good way to get things really good and even all around. And this bridge, we lowered it, but not very far. It's not even with the base of the cylinder. Actually just kind of matched it up against a case half I had laying in here and took down what I thought needed took down. This one's going to kind of be a torque build, and as you can see, ain't a lick of machine work done to this thing. Intake port, nothing crazy there. Maybe with some casting mess in the bottom of it I cleaned up, and I took my timing out of the bottom of the piston. Let's see, guys over here, and I know that was a heck of an intro to the video. May as well just get right into the what's going on, I guess. This piston I had here, didn't want to use it anyway, is what I had. I did pull my timing out of the piston via this half moon notch. Yes, that is a pop-up. I actually pulled this out of another build that ran really well, so, and it was here low hours, so whatever, we'll use it, because evidently when I ordered the Farmer Tech order, all I ordered was a bare cylinder. Okay, as far as numbers on this, and again, we were going for a torque build, it will still rev. Again, there is zero machine work done to this. Sometimes things just fall in your favor. Would it benefit more from cutting 30 out of the band, 30 back off the base? You'd pick up a little more torque, I ain't gonna lie to anyone, it'd have a little more thump, but I wouldn't trust this piston at all. You know, you'd be well up over 200 psi by doing that, and I wouldn't trust that thing at all. But with that said, she'll have a nice thump with the numbers I'm about to spit out, and not many people's going to disagree with that. And it'll still rev out. It'll have plenty of grunt in the cut with whatever bar and chain set up you might want to put on it, you know, being reasonable. Squish fell flat dead on 20 thousandths. We all know as a builder, it, you know, doesn't get much better than that. 20 to 25 thou. Sometimes we go a little tighter, sometimes a little looser. It just is what it is. Exhaust roof, and this is going to throw some people for a flip because they're used to seeing their favorite builders go in and grind the piss out of them. Not here. You guys know better than that by now. It originally fell on 106, and you'll get that with some of these aftermarket cylinders. And that falls in your favor, believe it or not. The lower roof in a lot of cases is better. It'll generate more torque, gives you more to that power stroke. After I've done my thing with it, we're sitting smack dead on 105. It'll still rev fine there, and you know, we all know it's going to have a nice thump with 20 thou squish, a pop up, and a 105 roof. And they're going to people like, well, why didn't you raise it to this or do that? Because I didn't need to. It'll still rev. A lot of that comes into the transfer port. And I don't mean by going in and hogging out the lowers, friends. I mean by your upper angle and, you know, how wide that is, and, you know, all of that nonsense. But upper transfer is 126, 21 degrees of blowdown. All that does matter. It's all part of the puzzle, part of the equation to making these things tick. Intake 76, could we have stretched it on out? Yes. Did I want to? No. I was going for a torque build. I wanted the saw snappy. I wanted to rev. And this thing will still rev 14 grand, I guarantee it. I've got these numbers or numbers really close to them, and a handful of saws out there that are in people's hands that I've personally had here worked myself. You know, not what you're used to seeing, not what a lot of people do, but it's what I wanted to build here. I wanted a torque monster, and I wanted to show that you could make a big bore saw pull and run. Not building a race saw here either, so, you know, sorry to disappoint. If you've got something that's near stock and it's faster, hell, I'm happy for you. We'll put a 32 on the full comp in the hickory and see who wins then. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of the stuff that's done to these saws that other people do, it is done to shine in big wood or in very hard wood, or, you know, with a chain that pulls a big old chip. You can't put a saw, take two saws and put them in a foot of poplar that's about half rotten and be like, well, this built one's not much faster than this stock one. Yeah, it happens a lot, it really does. You know, sometimes you've got to get in a larger piece of wood or a more dense piece of wood to see what's up. But anyway, guys, I've rambled enough about this nonsense. 20 thou, 105, 126, 76. It'll pull like a freaking train, I guarantee it. Anyway, with that said, I'm going to pause you guys, and hopefully the next thing you see is this thing busted off and running. Alright, guys. Reckon it'll fire up. I don't see why not. All of the components came off of running saws for proper crowd. Every time I dial one of these tanks, we end up having to clean the carburetor screen after. Not every time, but it does happen. I'm not sure what the culprit is, but that one was flushed out pretty thoroughly. And I've got some oil in the cylinder, so I'll just tell you, we're just going to send it, I think. And I'm going to be brutally honest too. There's a spot, I don't know, in one or the other of the four of the transfers, and I'd went over it where I could kind of feel the rings coming in and out. I ain't for sure what's up with that. That's why you kind of do heat cycles on a break-in. Sometimes that'll happen. It's just me being really, really nitpicky about it. But I did spin it with a drill with a bunch of oil in. So, and I did put that muffler back on it. That, I don't know, it was a handful of people said it was just hideous. It's a piece of 1-inch pipe and a booger welded into it. I don't even know if I had the welder I have now when I done that. It would have been the old one that didn't work very well. She got some compression, that's with the decomp in. I know that thing's not popping over already. I know that thing's gonna have a thump to it. I got a feeling that Farmer Tech rope will not live. Just gonna want a little fuel. Whoa. Let's get a screwdriver and see what's up, and I'll bring you guys back. Ain't she a beaut, Clark? It is pretty solid. She just wanted a little bit of fuel, not a lot, a little bit. I'm kind of worried for a second, but she's sounding pretty healthy. I'll probably do a bunch of heat cycles on this before I ever think about putting a bar and chain on it and ending it, but she has a shit ton of compression. I think the one that I pulled the piston back out of had around 190, and squish was a little looser on it, and the exhaust reef was like half a degree higher or lower numerically. It is what it is, but aftermarket shit, catching and rubbing is what that is. It's a non-issue, but a pretty good looking saw. I do have a 365 I'm going to put together that's basically look the same, but it'll be a high top setup. I could go high or low top with it, but probably do the high top on it. But anyway, may as well one more time just for the hell of it. Decomp it so we don't kill that Chinese rope. See how snappy that is on the trigger, how fast it gets up on the pipe, and it's rich. I know that, but that's where your transfer duration, your transfer angles, your intake timing, the case pressure, all of that comes into play. Yes, your exhaust reef can dictate where the RPM range of the saw is going to be, whether it's way up top or wherever the hell else. But everything has to come into play. It's just all part of the puzzle. And I wish, certain people with a much larger following that are basically saying they're not teaching people, but they are, really learn this stuff, because there are a lot of cylinders and a lot of saws being ruined out there. And you also refer back, I did not touch the transfer ports themselves, all but raising the uppers. But anyway, man, she sounds sweet. Let's one more time just for the hell of it. She's dancing around wanting a piece of wood. But anyway, guys, the few of you that watch the videos on it, we appreciate it, and we'll get it in a piece of wood sooner than later. Y'all have a good one.